Welcome to the October 9th, 2018 edition of the BitcoinNews.com Daily Podcast. This is your host, Space Marine. Today we have an exciting exclusive interview with Daniel Jones and his sidekick Tamara, the developers of Proof of Life, a novel new way to send crypto transactions off-grid using just a shortwave radio, a solar panel, and a Raspberry Pi. Jumping right into the interview. So I read about your Proof of Life, and then I wrote an article about it. You guys did that, solar panel with hard drive and a shortwave radio.
So one thing to keep in mind about that hard drive is that hard drive, if you look up the specs, it's nothing more than a Raspberry Pi with 2 cores on it instead of 4, and it's a fully functioning computer. Just so you know.
All right, can you go through from the beginning what exactly you did?
So basically, what happened was we took a Linux computer, i.e. that hard drive. It's solar powered. It runs a full node of Burst, which is a cryptocurrency that is mined with hard drives. And basically, what it did from there is transmitted a packet over a radio that it mounted as a quote-unquote modem. And that's what happened. Now, Proof of Life using a chain's been done before. Julian Assange has done it. Other people have done it. The difference here is that this was solar powered and that this was done using a device that, anyone could obtain and or set up this way, and that's why it was part of our submission for a call for code. And that anyone could reasonably do this for very cheap if they had to.
All right, so do you need another shortwave radio on the receiving end for this to work?
Yes. You need one on the other end. You can't just transmit into nowhere. It has to have a gate at the other end. Yes. Okay, so in a network, right, whether IP network, we'll just say regular network, right? If I am sending from outside of a standard, we'll say, IP address range that you would use as a Class A, Class B, Class C, D, that kind of thing, or a home IP address like your 192.168.x.x. If I want to send a packet, I'm going to have to, at some point, get back to a network, right?
Right.
So you can broadcast anything you want, but there's no one listening on the other end with some form of gateway to an IP network. It will never work unless they have a node also on the other end that's verifying for them without the need of that. And that also still will require that they have a connection somewhere, because at some point they have to validate with everyone else for the confirmation, right?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that. So you're talking about how does the transaction from the radio go back to the internet?
Yeah, so that's through SPR and through IP gates. Those are tools that are readily available on forehand radio. Most of the time, due to legalities of encryption, you cannot use forward-facing SSL. So any email or any web address is usually not going to work because they all force SSL now, right? So automatically, if you fire up one of those services, you're breaking the law because you're transmitting SSL over radio, which is illegal. So in this way, you're not transmitting anything encrypted. You're cryptographically signing, but that's not encryption. That's just verifying that your key signed a payload or signed pieces of data. Right?
So it's against the law
It's
against the law to send encryption over radio?
Yes.
Wow.
SSL is 100% illegal. TLS, or forward-facing secrecy over radio, is 100% illegal. Forward-facing secrecy. That means SSL, predominantly just SSL is illegal because that's encryption. You can't determine what the user's actually doing, that kind of stuff.
So how do you send a private key over a radio wave without it getting intercepted?
Well, so you're signing it on the device, right? So remember that you can sign a transaction and then transmit, right? So you're not sending anything over the network. There's a great couple of things like the Bitcoin APRS, which other people have done this. Basically, you're signing the transaction locally and then transmitting to a node. That's all you're really doing.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Because synchronization of blocks over a radio, dude, at 9600 baud, you can do the math at how long that would take to synchronize a block or synchronize a chain from Genesis. You're not doing that very fast, at all. I think somebody did it in 2011 when they attempted to synchronize some blocks. They were looking at a 4-year wait period to get the blockchain sync. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, this is a dire straits kind of tool. This is not something anyone would use on any form of consistent basis. Like, this is just for like a dead man switch in an environment where you don't want to disclose where you are, because if you turn your cell phone on, somebody might blow your house up because you're in Syria. You know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of environment.
He was referring to in space wherever, like, you do not have internet access and radio waves,
Correct.
Way to communicate.
Yeah, because analog can be transmitted anywhere, you know, and that's often overlooked.
So this is really cool stuff. I've been writing a lot of articles. My boss has actually told me to stop writing articles like this, only do it once a month. But I've been writing about disasters and how Bitcoin would be affected. I wrote about a hurricane. I wrote about a nuclear war. I wrote about a geomagnetic storm. And then they were like, okay, that's enough to stop. Like, you can do it once a month. So, yeah, this is like right up that alley.
But see, like, we came right after he wrote those articles, so that was actually pretty cool, because now you can tell him, hey, you see, there is something out there, and it wasn't just me thinking this thing's up, you know?
Yeah, I was like, even though there was another one I wrote for Bitcoin in space, and I was theorizing you need radio waves to send the Bitcoin through space, and then you guys came up with a way to send Bitcoin basically with radio.
Well, so it's been done. So there is actually a whole bunch of stuff that is poorly documented. Just so you have some background, I've been involved with Bitcoin since 2009, right? Like, I was involved since March of 2009. I've seen some shit, right? A lot of it's not very well documented in the early days because people forget in 2009, if you were talking about Bitcoin or knowing anything about Satoshi, you were a marked person. Like, you had to be quiet. It's not like it is today. You couldn't talk about it back then. People saw it as a threat, and it was treated as so. We forget that today. It's been 9 years, but back then it was a threat, a real threat. And governments, including the United States government, and everyone was still on an international manhunt for Satoshi Nakamoto, right? So, like, we forget those. Like people who were there, we know it, but people who were new to the space, they forget that it was like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got in like 2014, 2013, but 2014. And it was already, like, open in the public.
Yeah, right after the Silk Road stuff, so, like, it was already all over the news, and people kind of stopped looking for Satoshi at that point because there was other problems being presented by Bitcoin that needed to be, quote-unquote, solved by the powers that be, right? I mean, like, people have said stuff in the space before. There are some people who have attempted to start satellite mining companies, man, and satellite nodes. The problem is that there's some really gray areas when you start talking about the laws and regulations on radio, right? Because pecuniary which means business sense or commercial grade transactions or anything related to monetary value is seen as illegal, right? And that's clearly stated in the FCC bylaws for amateur radio, including AM and CB, and not to mention regular RF. That's why they give us the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. Those are to be used for that.
The thing is that's just why a lot of people got upset, because they thought that he was sending money, and it's like, yeah, well, it was a burst in itself, whatever. It wasn't like, what can I really do with that?
It was to prove it was me by unlocking my key to send her a fucking transaction. I could have used the message in the transaction unencrypted. The problem was that my API, because I had a custom role version to use this with, right? There was a problem with the API calling, so I just had to substitute for using just a pure transaction. So if you look at it like that, then it makes kind of more sense as to why I didn't just put a message into the transaction field, but that was because I was having some issues with the API because I had custom rolled the version.
That we can do now.
Yeah, that I fixed, so that's not a problem. But, yeah, I mean, like, the thing is that chains provide, like, you know, immutability, right? And the problem is that people don't like that. Like, they're scared of it, believe it or not. Most people are.
I have a few questions, and I don't want to forget them, but number one, you know how the Voyagers are controlled by radio antennas, like really strong ones from Earth, and they're on the edge of the solar system? Can you send, like, cryptocurrency to, like, the edge of the solar system with this technology, if you have, like, the big antenna?
Here's the thing. You could theoretically where. That's how all of that works. So whether you're talking about satellite or not, at some point there's an IP translation that has to happen. Otherwise, you can't interact with anything else on the network, right? The other members of the chain, you wouldn't be able to confirm because you can't see them, right?
All right, so let's say there's a place on Mars that's like a colony, and you send a packet to Mars, and then they have the IP translator on Mars. They could go back into the Bitcoin network and work?
Yeah. As long as they had some way of being able to do packet translation through either ASPR or some other packet switching. There's like 50 different types of packet switching on radio, by the way. Lots of different ideas. ASPR seems to work the best. But, yeah, I mean, essentially, if you had some way of doing the packet switch back, yes, it would work. The problem is the latency. So, like, if you were attempting to send a transaction, depending on how long it would take you to get to Mars back into the relay gate, you would have to accommodate that in to whatever block you were attempting to put that in, right? So, like, if you're at block 544.010, then if you transmit it then, chances are your transaction may not hit till block 544.012, right? Because you may miss a block based on the time it takes to transmit from Mars to here for that translation to happen on the network, for it to be added to mempool, then for it to be processed, validated, then confirmed and added to the block, right? But
right.
That takes time. So I don't know how long the relay would take, because I'm not a super expert at interstellar communications. So
I think it would still work, though.
The one thing that I was thinking, though, is do the FCC laws apply in space? Maybe they don't apply. Maybe people will not have to worry about the pecuniary factor.
Yeah, that's something.
It's something that has yet to be talked about. So maybe it's something that they could look into, because then maybe like the only method of working out with individuals that are out in space, right? Because we don't have established technologies over there that we do here. So it may be something where it would be allowed to actually transmit instead of transmitting packets.
Yeah, I think when you start talking about interstellar and when you start talking about dealing with Mars, you start talking about dealing with all that, I think that is the next great frontier for humans, in the sense of building better protocols, better stacks, better ideas, and actually implementing better technology and using those. I mean, like she was saying, I don't know what the regulations are in space, so like I can't speak on whether or not they apply, but what they don't. Right? So if they don't, it's Wild West. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know that could pertain to that. So I can only say that it would be possible. I just don't know how reliable or how usable it would be. Is that a better way of putting it?
Okay, sounds good. So now back to the on-Earth transactions. So you're saying Bitcoin's probably like too big to use for this method? It's not scalable with this method? Because is that true?
What, for this method? Dude, Bitcoin's unscalable as a whole for secondary power sources, because barring outside of building a fucking hydroelectric dam or setting up massive amounts of solar, which, by the way, someone has to man and make sure that they don't impact, migratory bird paths, things like that, you still have to produce a lot of energy, right? And because proof of work takes a lot of energy, it's not scalable. That's why proof of capacity was used in this case, because it only took 3 to 4 watts.
Well,
versus,
actually, like, let's say there's like a nuclear war and everything gets wiped out, and then there's no more of these big farms. Let's say someone did have the whole... Like, is it possible to have the whole Bitcoin blockchain downloaded onto your device? Is it big enough? And then, like, you would be the one mining it with your Raspberry Pi, but there's no other big competition, so would it work?
So technically a chain will work. The problem is that what you run into is, so this guy, the little drive you saw, has the whole burst blockchain on it. That's how I was able to send. But you could run the whole Bitcoin blockchain on there too. The problem is that the Bitcoin blockchain is much larger, 280 something gigs. Not to mention it requires a lot more resources. This little drive or a Pi could do it. There are people who do it all the time. The problem is that is it fast? No. Usually what they have to do is they have to compromise the security of the chain from syncing from Genesis to doing an import, which is dangerous because you have to trust the source of your import, right?
Yeah.
So the problem is that a chain can operate with only one node. Is it a real chain? No, because there's no other nodes confirming. So the validity of the transactions on the chain with no other nodes is suspect. That's why the early days of BTC, first 10 days transactions are a little suspect in some people's minds because there was no one else confirming, right? It was just all Satoshi. So Finney come along 10 days later and added a node. So what you run into is you have these interesting parallels of things, but like you could still operate a node and use the chain, just it would not be valid in the sense that no one else is confirming your transactions or validating those transactions are being valid, right? That's all.
Okay, so you're saying, like, theoretically you could use Bitcoin with this radio technique. Is that true?
Well, radio technique with Bitcoin's been done before, so let's not confuse that. Like, this is not the first point to be transmitted over radio. Bitcoin was first transmitted over radio, to my knowledge, from a post in IRC circa 2009. It was done again in 2011, and then there was businesses attempted to be started around 2014. There's now publicly well-known Bitcoin ASPR protocol that you can use to literally do everything that I described. It basically walks you through how that proof of concept would work, even though it's not proof of concept, it's actually just been done. There are some patents pending on certain technology pieces and some other business intents. So it gets really murky when you start talking about that side of it. But yes, it's already been done.
All right, that's good info. So basically, let's say a nuclear war or like a meteorite or whatever wipes out everything, Bitcoin's network could be sustained by like solar panels, Raspberry Pis, and shortwave radios. Maybe?
It could be, but honestly, BTC would be would be very wasteful in the resources that you have. Purely because of the fact of what proof of work takes to operate. So that's why Burst was selected for this. Like, I know that you're a fan of Bitcoin, but like also, as Satoshi said and everyone else, when technology presents itself to be better in a situation, it's better to use the right tool than not, right? So like, if I'm trying to hammer something, a nail in, I'm not going to use a screwdriver. You know what I mean?
So what makes Burst good for this?
Because it requires only hard drive. Like, hard drives are much cheaper to run than a CPU, for the most part. So, like, while I could run a Raspberry Pi to keep a node, I could never mine with that node, meaning no one would ever strike blocks with those Pis, because unless there's no net difficulty, which you would see in that situation, the problem is that if there was any form of scaling at a point where multiple people had multiple Pis, you would eventually need more power, which that's part of the problem, right? With BTC scaling, you need a lot of energy. You need ASICs. You need stuff to be competitive. So while the world may reset with a global annihilation or apocalyptic wave, what you have to remember is that after it starts back up, remember proof of work is literally proof of work. It's who's doing the work and the most of it.
All right, so what's Burst's algorithm?
Proof of capacity.
What's that? I never heard of that.
So basically, instead of generating SHA 256 constantly to answer a block, we run what's called a Shabal 256. Shabal 256 is a high I/O intensive, so it's ASIC resistant right now. And what that means is that we generate Shabal 256 output to a space or to a hard drive, right? And that space is allocated as what we call a plot. Every 4 minutes, that plot is read for the answer, and whoever has the answer plus however long it took to read to the actual nods or the space on the drive to get to the answer, it's called a deadline. Those are compared and validated against the keys and the answer.
Do you think the world's financial system could possibly be sustained with this sort of technology?
Hell no, because it takes too much fucking radio, it takes a lot of work, and it takes people understanding it. Sustainability on the technology of radios and solar and all that, yeah, no, not going to happen. But with blockchain, yeah, it will happen. Just like this is not like a commercial villages. It can work in remote locations, yes. But when you start talking about, like, in cities and stuff, no, this kind of model won't work and not be sustainable at all.
I mean, that was kind of like the bigger focus surrounding the hard drive, and the project is making sure that it would be something that would work in a third world country or, you know, in a village type of situation in which people may not have as much access to internet. They would not have, you know, the same resources that we do over here. So we did keep that kind of in mind, as that would be kind of like a good setup that a whole community could use, not just one individual to kind of keep their economy running. So
there's the device, towing device is two radios.
Yeah.
One to listen and one to broadcast.
Yeah, so it does broadcast radio as well. The hard drive.
So it has two Wi-Fi radios on it, right? One to connect and one to broadcast. So basically, you can tether off a cellular, you can tether off a modem being mounted, you can tether off anything, right? The device has it built in. So if you were to deploy the drive with solar panels into an area, you could daisy chain as much as you wanted to, and then utilize a primary source for internet access. The great thing about it is because it runs Linux, so anything Linux can do, I can make it do just with some work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about how much work someone wants to put into making something do something, right? Like right now in this world we live in, if you can dream it, you could probably do it. But I mean, ultimately, if you really wanted to make a better version of this, you would just use an SDR, software-defined radio, and it would make your life a whole lot easier instead of having to deal with regulations and shit, which may actually be sustainable, but I haven't done enough SDR hacking in a while. So, like, I would have to spend some serious time over the fall or something, or winter, to see if I could come up with a better solution for using SDR connected directly to it. Does that make sense?
So you can use software-designed radio. It's like a different sort of radio frequency or something.
Yeah, it gives you a little more luxury of tinkering around. I haven't done SDR in a long time. SDR now is much cheaper than it used to be. It used to be SDR kits were like $1,100, $1,200. Now you can get an SDR kit for like $350. And it's a USB drive. You just plug it onto your device and install the drivers and you're done. Right? It's totally different. Used to, they give you a kit and they would tell you how to build drivers for your platform. It may or may not work because they're, you know, who knows. And so yeah, times have changed. Now it's much easier.
Like, what's the range of your shortwave radio?
Oh, very short, dude. This thing I hear, so I'm looking at it right now, and you're like, let's see. We only did like less than a half mile with that, man. I mean, honestly, you're talking about like quarter mile that we did that transmission. This thing probably could go 4, maybe 5 miles max, I think. I would be more realistic to think maybe 2 miles to be safe to do a using AX25 or any of that stuff. I would not want to rely on it for anything over that because I don't know the device that well. So I would have to do more tinkering. Keep in mind, I was given that device on a Friday. That Saturday we did that, so I don't know that much about the device specifics as far as what its max range and short range are. As far as long wave radio goes, I mean, if you were to like I said, I don't spend enough time hacking radios, and by hacking I don't mean doing legal shit, I mean playing around, tinkering, right? I haven't done enough recently to know what any of the common specs would be and how far they could go, but if you just take a glance at radio subreddits or 4chan or anything, I mean, there's some people who have gotten some crazy range out of handheld devices. I personally think that you can probably go 2 miles with the devices there and be safe. Problem is that you would still need line of sight to some sort of broadcast or that kind of thing. Like, radios are interesting because you can't, like, there's no general solution, you know what I mean? Or general answer, because conditions apply.
Okay. Have you considered integrating this onto one device and then launching a cryptocurrency with it?
No, because I don't see a point launching a cryptocurrency over it because honestly, there's algorithms and technology there. Why do I need to make a new one?
All right, but have you considered integrating all this, like the solar panel?
No, as far as integrating, like some people have asked us, some companies have asked us recently.
We're trying to figure out how to put all the pieces together.
I'm about to begin an endeavor of looking over schematics and figuring out if that's feasible for something that can be drop shipped, right? There are better options at this point. Like if you're talking about this, if you want to productize this correctly, you could just, instead of using the radio and avoiding litigation or any of the BS that could happen if it's considered commercial after you've made a product with it, just use satellite phones with data plans. Those work just as well. And it can be mounted as a modem directly to the device. So you have options, you know what I mean? Like this was like dire straits. You have no power, you have nothing, you can do this. But if you're trying to build stuff, you could actually just use satellite phones, and for the most part, it would be better. The problem is that the telemetry issue would occur where you would have radio fighting, that kind of stuff. But I haven't thought about it that too in depth, but there are caveats with doing it. Yes.
All right, so with this dead man switch thing, can you send an actual message in English with the message?
Yeah, so a dead man switch is the idea that you or someone communicates with someone or something every day to let it know that you're alive. Like, you tweet every day at a time, or you check your email, or you send an email to someone every day. You have these quote-unquote dead man switches that you may not realize. Like, I don't know how many friends you may have made over the years on the internet, right? We don't know your number, but you somewhat talk to them via Discord or something, right?
Not anymore.
A dead man switch would be like a message that you would send back and forth to that person. And then one day, if you start communicating, they would know that something happened to you. And that's important, because for some family members, that may be the only form of communication they ever have with a loved one after their country goes into war or something, you know? And we often overlook that here.
So you can't really send an English message, but you can tell them before anything happens, like, hey, I'm going to send you one burst per day.
You can send them, no. You can send them a pure English message. Like, no. You could theoretically upload a video through FileBurst onto the chain if you wanted to. However, doing that over radio is not going to be efficient, and I wouldn't do it. Actually, I would advise never to do that, because it would just take too much bandwidth. You should do something else. But you can send an English message. So what the purpose was is that a dead man switch could be anything, right? It's just a sign of life that you're alive. That's all a dead man switch is. At a point, you can put a trigger. That's why they call it the switch. Where, like, for example, Julian Assange has a dead man switch that he's publicly disclosed. He has to do certain things, otherwise, a torrent file gets released, right? Or, you may have one where something, someone doesn't hear from you, they know to then, like your wife or whatever, they then know to do certain actions based upon your demise or not hearing from you, right? Like, that's the switch part. But, it's just a signal, right? If you think about it, it's just like, hey, or bye, or whatever. We overlook it, but something as simple as a transaction can be the switch that proves that someone's still alive, which is the peace of mind someone needs in a disaster, right? And that's kind of the whole scope.
That's all we have for you today on this October 9th, 2018 edition of the BitcoinNews.com Daily Podcast. Thanks again to Daniel Jones and his sidekick Tamara for explaining Proof of Life, the novel way of sending crypto transactions off-grid, and it acts as a good dead man switch in a war zone. Come back tomorrow for another exciting episode, and go to BitcoinNews.com 24/7 for the full spectrum of Bitcoin, blockchain, and crypto analysis. This is your host, Space Marine, signing out.